welcome to this Friday edition of This Day. It is March 1st. I'm Michael Taylor. Did you enjoy your extra leap day? Did you do anything special with the extra day you got this year? Well, it's over. Leap day's over. We are well into March. I love March, though. It got spring coming up. Daylight savings, I believe, is next weekend, and so pretty good stuff on tap. Hey, we got some good stuff on tap for today, too. Let's take a look. The Shalom Club's going to be here. Cindy Hauscher and Reverend Ellen Crane are going to be here talking about Buddhism, the Buddhist temples here in Orange County, and learning, folks who want to learn a little bit more about Buddhism. We're going to talk about that, and they have a special guest speaker coming up at the Shalom Club, so look forward to that. Also, great day of sports with Sports Corner and Cole Young. He's going to be talking about hockey, spring training, draft, who's going to be up in the draft, lots of stuff like that. So good catch up with Cole. That's coming up a little later. We've got some important stuff to tell you about as well. We want to tell you about staying informed, and we got Optimal Aging lecture series coming up. It's about taking control of your health and maintaining your mobility and stability. They're going to have a lecture series coming up. It's going to be Wednesday, March 6th, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center, Dining Room 1. No registration is required. You're going to learn some of the best strategies to promote mobility and stability, how to keep safely active and energetic. You can join educational sessions and learn about the latest research and evidence-based practices on how to advance and restart your exercise routines. So make sure you get out there for that. Should be a good one coming up on March 6th. All right, let's take a look at our weather. We've got some okay temperatures right now. We got a little bit of sunshine, but that's going to be changing. We've got increasing clouds, probably some rain starting later this evening. And then we definitely have the rain coming in tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit of a cold storm, not like one of those atmospheric rivers that we were getting earlier. So it's going to have low snow levels and low temperatures. Got rain on Saturday. Then we clear out for a little while, and it looks like we might have rain on Wednesday. But otherwise, we got 3 days of clear out and low temperatures, cool temperatures for the most part. Spring's on the way, I promise you, but it's not here quite yet. All right, let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset, and it's a good one today. We got out at the jetty at Corona Del Mar. Thank you, Ben Givens, for sending us this picture. I've been out on that jetty, and I've been careful. You got to be careful. Watch out for the high surf. Watch out for stuff, but it's fun to be out there. Our sunrise this morning was 6:18. Sunset tonight is going to be 5:48, and it'll be rainy on the jetty tonight. Probably some waves with the storm, so steer clear of that one. All right, if you would like to send us some pictures, we'd love to see some pictures of the jetty, places around Laguna Woods Village, or anything else you might want to send us, pets, places, all that good stuff. We'd love to use it on our Sunrise Sunset segment. How do you do that? Email us a photo, Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Make sure you send us your name and where you took the photo, and we will put it on our segment. Okay, we've got a meeting to tell you about, and then when we come back, the Shalom Club will be here.
Pet boarding and daycare reimagined in Laguna Woods. Smart Park is offering 1 month of unlimited free daycare to new clients that pass a temperament evaluation. Call today to redeem this offer and get started.
Do you suffer from low back pain? Hoag Orthopedic Institute is the #1 provider of orthopedic and spine care in Orange County. Our Back to You program is a unique, non-operative, evidence-based approach to treating low back pain. Our spine strengthening program combines physical therapy with education on pain and nutrition. Let Hoag Orthopedic Institute's Back to You program get you back to doing what you love. For more information, visit hoiexperts.com/spine or call 855-999-4641 to find a doctor.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
We all love our independence. Mobility City is your choice for all mobility equipment, repairs, service, rentals, and sales. We have rollators, wheelchairs, scooters, lift-out chairs, hospital beds, and more. We repair all mobility equipment in or out of warranty. Battery replacement too. And we'll come to you. Plus, we offer short and long-term rentals. Mobility City's personalized service is our specialty.
These guys are lifesavers.
So call or stop by our showroom today. Open Saturdays.
And welcome back, and shalom to all of you at home. And we want to welcome the Shalom Club. And we're going to be talking about Buddhism today, which is a little off, maybe, right? For some people, I think that, but not for the Shalom Club, because you guys are multicultural.
Exactly. We have a plaque outside the doors of Clubhouse 1. And the plaque basically says what our theme is. We were called the Shalom Club. We added a multicultural part to it just to make sure that people understand that we are interested in diversity. We want to welcome people. We want them to feel that we have meaningful events. And we have different speakers so that we can go and visit where they are in different areas of California.
Right, and you guys have always had a great diversity in terms of your speakers, the folks you bring in, and this is no exception in this one. Reverend Ellen Crane from the Orange County Buddhist Church. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And you have a big kind of presentation coming up this Sunday for the Shalom Club folks. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are going to do.
Well, they've asked me to speak about Buddhism, and I'm very happy to inform the community about what Buddhism entails. I'm going to be talking about just basically, it's Buddhism 101. And I'll be talking about the origins of Buddhism, how it all started, how it spread across mostly Asia, and how it eventually arrived in America.
Now, do people think of Buddhism as more of a philosophy, a religion? Where do you think it kind of lands with most people who are unfamiliar with Buddhism?
Okay, so that's always the $64 billion question. Is it a religion, a philosophy, or a way of life? And the answer is yes.
Yes, there we go. I had a feeling that was coming, right?
Yes, yes.
And so it's kind of a lot of teachings. I know people like to quote Buddha and those kinds of things along the way. And when did you were you introduced to it as a child? Is it part of your family heritage?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I was raised as a Buddhist.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what made you guys think, hey, we want to bring in somebody to speak on Buddhism? Have you guys touched on this subject before?
Well, last year we had a person, we called it 101 Hinduism, and then we went to the Hindu temple. And then recently, the last speaker spoke about the Baha'i faith. And we just trying to have meaningful, interesting information for people. And Buddhism has always been an interest for Paula and I. And so we were so happy to meet Reverend Ellen Crane. So we're thrilled. We're just thrilled to have her.
And Reverend Crane, can you tell me a little about just the life of Buddha, a general kind of a 101, as we say, for folks who don't really know what that's all about?
Well, he lived 2,500 years ago. At that time was northern India. Today, where he was born is part of Nepal.
Okay.
So it's kind of in the hills of the Himalayas. And he was a prince of a somewhat minor kingdom and was pulled to find the meaning of life. And so at 29, he went in search of what that meant for him. So he came to a, quote, awakening, enlightenment experience at the age of 35, and from then he taught for the next 45 years. So from his teachings, it spread across India, down into Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, all of those countries. And like any religion, there's no monolithic Buddhism, like Christianity or
there are a lot of offshoots and different kind of interpretations.
There are today hundreds of forms of Buddhism. Over 2,500 years, it needed to adapt to the various cultures that it encountered, but the basic core teachings remain the same. And so the form of Buddhism that I practice is from Japan. This school of Buddhism kind of came into being about 800 years ago. And today it is the most widespread form of Buddhism in Japan.
Okay.
Yes. and was brought to America 125 years ago.
Wow, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So now this is going to be on Sunday. You guys are taking in May. You guys are taking a trip to one of the temples, right?
Yes, we always like to have a speaker first, and then we like to take a bus to a temple. And we're going to one of the largest in the United States. I was told it's called the Shi Lai Temple, and we already have the bus, and at our meeting on Sunday we'll be discussing that, and people can line up and join then, but we have until May to go on the trip. We're very excited about that.
And a temple like that, I'm sure you've probably been there, right?
One time.
One time, okay. So what do you experience when you go into a temple for a Buddhist temple?
Well, what do you go into when you go into a church? I mean, it depends. It depends on which kind of lineage it is and what kind of, their tradition is. Shilai is a temple from China, and it is a monastic form of Buddhism. So when you go there, it's a very large temple for one thing, but they do have a monastic population there with monks and nuns. And they will be in robes, and I think they are also vegetarian, which we are not. But they do offer a wonderful lunch that anyone can partake of. So I think that will be a real highlight for all of the visitors who go.
So it really kind of almost a cultural experience as well as to kind of visiting the temple. That's what I was kind of hoping that you were going to say there. So you kind of like get a real feel for the life and the culture and the traditions and those kinds of things. How important is it for you at the Shalom Club? I almost know your answer. How important is it for you to have this exposure to so many different cultures and religions and peoples and that kind of thing?
Well, as I was telling Ellen, we have such a diverse population here just in Laguna Woods. And we, because there are so many different clubs, we want to bring people together from all the different clubs. We want to be respectful of theirs and go and listen to them speak. And we want to draw more people in and have making a little bit of a connection with other people within the village. And then our goal is to also go and visit an area so they see even more of the culture and the beauty and the art that's created.
Okay. And then when we're talking about Buddhism, so many religions have this what happens in the afterlife kind of thing and what you do to get to that afterlife. Is there a path like that in the world of Buddhism as well?
Yes, there is. And again, it varies according to which school that you encounter. So, some of the schools do talk about this afterlife. In our tradition, the emphasis is really much more on the meaning of this life and having a completely fulfilling life in this life. So there isn't quite as much concern with what happens after. And frankly, who really knows? And the things that we are taught are suppositions in general from people who think that they know what's coming after. But for us, we really try to emphasize the present moment and living your life fully.
All right, well, you'll be able to learn more about that when Speaker Reverend Crane comes to the Sunday, March 3rd event over at Clubhouse 1. That'll be one of the last events they have at Clubhouse 1 before they close on Monday.
We are.
You might be one of the last ones in there. Doors open at 2:30. The program starts at 3 p.m. Sounds fantastic. Reverend Ellen Crane and Cindy, thank you so much for the Shalom Clubs. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Very much. Appreciate it.
And when we come back, we're going to be checking in with Cole Young and the Sports Corner. Stay with us.
Do you suffer from low back pain? Hoag Orthopedic Institute is the #1 provider of orthopedic and spine care in Orange County. Our Back to You program is a unique, non-operative, evidence-based approach to treating low back pain. Our spine strengthening program combines physical therapy with education on pain and nutrition. Let Hoag Orthopedic Institute's Back to You program get you back to doing what you love. For more information, visit hoiexperts.com/spine or call 855-999-4641 to find a doctor.
Happy first day of March and welcome back to Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and this time of the year is a little strange. It's a weird transitional period on the sports calendar, but we still have some big things to look forward to on the horizon. Starting in the NFL, the draft is just around the corner, and the free agency period is beginning to ramp up. Nothing is certain just yet, but there's a lot of speculation as to who will end up where, and the more time passes, the more likely certain events are to unfold. Last week, I talked a lot about the Bears quarterback situation and what will transpire in Chicago. Lately, it seems that the Falcons and Raiders are making their big push to acquire Justin Fields, which would likely mean the Bears drafting Caleb Williams. After a ton of media stories and interviews and reports from the Broncos and Russell Wilson, it seems Wilson's days in Denver are over for good. The current rumors are that the Broncos are big fans of J.J. McCarthy, Michigan's national champion quarterback. They are also very close to a long-term deal for all-pro cornerback Pat Surtain. On Wednesday, the Jets announced they are allowing quarterback Zach Wilson to explore a trade. Derrick Henry is exploring his options as a free agent, and teams like the Dolphins and Ravens appear to be on his radar. The Bucs made it clear they are working on long-term deals for Baker Mayfield as well as receiver Mike Evans. The Chiefs officially released wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling and announced they are allowing cornerback L'Jarius Sneed to explore his options in the trade market. It seems likely Saquon Barkley will not be returning to the Giants, and Josh Jacobs will be done with the Raiders, and Eckler might be out from the Chargers, so some big-name running backs will be on the market soon. Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Jimmy Garoppolo, Chris Jones, Eddie Jackson, Jonnu Smith, and so many more big-name players are in a weird limbo period at the moment. In the coming weeks, it will be more apparent who's going where and who is going to enter the season as a free agent. The NFL draft isn't for another month or so, but teams need to see the skills of who they want to draft. And to do that, players showcase their skills at the NFL Combine. The Combine kicked off on Thursday with defensive linemen and linebackers running their drills. Today, the defensive backs and tight ends will report, followed by the quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs tomorrow. The weekend will end with the offensive linemen on Sunday. You can follow along with the Combine all weekend on NFL Network and see which players stand out to you and try and predict where they will land on draft day in April. While I am obviously still very focused on the NFL, even though the season's over, another one of my personal favorite seasons is starting up this week, Formula One. The Bahrain Grand Prix will mark the start of the 2024 F1 season, and it starts this week. The teams had their practices and their car tests over the past few days, and the first qualifying event is taking place today. The race then starts tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Based on the practices and qualifying race, it really seems that Red Bull is yet again in a class of their own. Their car is significantly faster than any other team on the track, so they will be looking to start their season with another victory and start their journey towards their fourth straight world championship. While Red Bull is the heavy favorite, the next teams in line are teams like Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and Aston Martin. All of these teams could be competing for the top 5 spots and maybe even get first place a time or two throughout the season. Tune in to the first race tomorrow morning to see which drivers come out on top of the podium. In the other race world, NASCAR had an electric photo finish last weekend. At Atlanta Motor Speedway, the chaotic final lap at the end of the most competitive race in course history ended in a literal photo finish. Daniel Suarez came out on top of the 3-car photo finish to win the Am Better Health 400, beating Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch to the finish line by what looked like literal centimeters. This was Suarez's second career win, and with a mere .003 seconds separating Suarez and Blaney, and just .007 seconds separating Suarez from Busch in third place, this marks the third closest finish in the history of the NASCAR Cup Series since they implemented electronic timing and scoring over 30 years ago. Like I said, this was the closest finish in the history of Atlanta Motor Speedway, surpassing the .006 margin of victory that Kevin Harvick beat Jeff Gordon by in March of 2001. This race also marked the most lead changes in Atlanta history, as 48 lead changes were officially recorded at the finish line between 14 different drivers. All in all, it was an absolutely historic day in racing history. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway next Sunday at 12:30 p.m., and it can be watched on Fox. The NHL season is slowly beginning to wrap up, with the playoffs beginning in mid-April. The biggest story in the hockey world came earlier this week, and at the center of it all was Patrick Kane. If you remember, about a year ago, I mentioned that the Chicago Blackhawks legend and 3-time Stanley Cup champion was traded to the New York Rangers after 16 years in Chicago. After the Rangers were knocked out of the playoffs in the first round last season, Kane had a hip surgery to repair a lingering injury. He became a free agent during his recovery, and he signed a one-year deal with the Detroit Red Wings. All of these events over the past year led to the moment on Sunday when Kane made his return to Chicago for the first time since he was traded in February of 2023, almost exactly a year to the day. And Kane did what he does best in Chicago, this time just wearing a different team's colors. Kane scored on a breakaway a minute and 43 seconds into overtime in his return to Chicago, lifting the Detroit Red Wings to a 3-2 victory over the Blackhawks on Sunday night. No one knew how Kane would look following the hip surgery he had back in June of 2023, but if there were any concerns, they're long gone. Kane has 28 points consisting of 12 goals and 16 assists in 27 games for Detroit, including a current 8-game point streak. The Red Wings haven't qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs since the 2015-2016 season, but they currently hold the first wildcard seed in the Eastern Conference. Here's a look at the current NHL playoff picture. Like I said a few weeks ago, the Kings are still in the picture, but the Ducks are not even close. Anaheim is currently 8th in the wildcard standings. Like I said last week, MLB spring training is finally here. Dodger fans finally got to see what they've been waiting for and what their organization is spending $700 million on: Shohei Ohtani in Dodger blue. His debut came earlier this week in a spring game against the Chicago White Sox. Shohei started the day with a strikeout looking in his first at-bat, followed by grounding into a double play. If, for some strange reason, anyone had any doubt that Ohtani is still one of the greatest hitters to walk the planet just because of 2 early spring at-bats, those doubts went far out the window after his third and final at-bat. On a 3-2 pitch from Chicago White Sox right-hander Dominic Leone, Ohtani did what Ohtani does and absolutely blasted a 2-run home run into deep left field. Until 11 days ago, he had not even faced batting practice off a pitcher since last September after undergoing surgery on his right elbow. That surgery will still prevent Ohtani from pitching at all this season, but he clearly will still be dominant as a designated hitter. The Dodgers are currently in first place in the Cactus League, with the Padres and Angels towards the middle/bottom of the pack. I've said it a million times, but these games have no effect on anything meaningful, but they are great opportunities for players to shake off the dust and get some live practice. It's also a great chance for rookies and minor league players to showcase their talents and attempt to earn a roster spot. There are still full slates of games all weekend, with the Angels taking on the Diamondbacks tomorrow, followed by the White Sox on Sunday. The Dodgers will square off with the Cubs tomorrow and the Rockies on Sunday, and the Padres will face off with the Giants and Mariners on Saturday and Sunday. Be sure to tune in to as much baseball as you can, as opening day is just right around the corner. To end the show, one of the greatest sports journalists in history decided to call it a career earlier this week. After 44 years, Peter King announced on Monday that he is retiring. King has been covering football in one avenue or another since he was in college. He began writing about football straight out of college and really never stopped. He started as a newspaperman at the Cincinnati Enquirer in the 1980s, then was hired by Sports Illustrated in 1989. King began his column, called Monday Morning Quarterback, in 1997 for Sports Illustrated. SI was King's home until 2018, when he left to join NBC full-time. This move came 12 years after he began appearing on Football Night in America as an analyst. His column was renamed Football Morning in America, and he continued to write it for NBC. King has been one of the most influential modern football writers, with several famous writers paying their tribute to him on social media after his retirement announcement. Names like Adam Schefter, Rich Eisen, Ian Rappaport, Albert Breer, and many more posted their appreciation and anecdotes about King, congratulating him on an incredibly successful career. That'll do it for this week's episode of Sports Corner. Be sure to come back next Friday for more stories, news, and updates. I'm Cole Young. Enjoy the first weekend in March, and I'll see you next time.
We believe every senior should be able to remain healthy, happy, and at home. At Caring Senior Service, we understand the value of compassion and companionship. Our caregivers promote health, happiness, and independence. We cook nutritional meals, engage in meaningful activities, run errands, do light house cleaning, and more. Call us toll-free at 833-926-3700 or visit our website, CaringSeniorServiceLW.com. Healthy, happy home. Caring Senior Service.
I heard that ugly 6-letter word, cancer, and I immediately felt lost.
Our team of women's cancer specialists helped thousands of women like Naomi navigate and beat cancer.
I didn't want to be treated like a cancer patient, but like a human.
Our advanced imaging, targeted radiation, and minimally invasive surgeries offer positive outcomes that are beating national cancer survival rates.
I've reclaimed the most beautiful four-letter word, life, because I had City of Hope on my side.
And welcome back to This Day. We're going to talk about our Friday movie right now, and it's a good one. It's a foreign film. It's Kid with a Bike. Thomas Durrett stars in that. He's a 12-year-old in this one. A stubborn, impulsive Cyril seems on his way to delinquency. He has no mother. His father wants nothing to do with him, and he's out of his life. And so he's in a foster institution. He searches for his father, wanting him and his bike. Through an intercession of Samantha, a hairdresser, Cyril happens upon. He gets his bike back, and she offers to help take him in and on the weekends and help him out. He remains kind of aloof from her and gets involved with a young crook. And so basically what we're talking about is what is Cyril's intent? What's driving him? Does he want to drive Samantha away? And then what's he going to do? So lots of good questions in this one, a kind of existential crisis for him. 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., both of those with subtitles. Then on Saturday, they shoot horses, don't they? That's with Jane Fonda, a very early movie from Jane Fonda. This is a classic. It's brought to us by Saddleback. And Robert is a homeless man, and as a boy, he witnesses a horse who has a broken leg and it's shot and put down out of its misery. Years later, during the Great Depression, Robert wanders into a dance marathon that's about to begin in a shabby ballroom on the Santa Monica Pier. Couples are competing for a $1,500 cash prize and hoping to be spotted by Hollywood celebrities and talent scouts in the audience. So Robert's recruited by Rahi, the contestant's promoter and MC, to be the partner of the world-weary, bitter young woman named Gloria Beatty, that's Jane Fonda, after her previous partner is disqualified for bronchitis. They shoot horses, don't they? 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without. Let's take a quick check on our weather before we head out, and we've got rain in the forecast. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, later today, we have increasing clouds basically today. Don't be surprised if the sprinkles in the start anytime really, but mostly tonight it's going to have some rain. Then into tomorrow, Saturday, we've got a good chance of rain. And this is a cold system. It's going to be some cold weather, a low snow in the mountains. If you guys are going up this weekend, make sure you bring the chains. And then we clear out for a few days where we have still the kind of cool temperatures, but we have partly, little scattered clouds here and there, but mostly okay. Then again, rain midweek on Wednesday, I believe too. So anyway, enjoy some of the dry out while we can. Spring's on the way. Don't worry about it. Tomorrow on This Day, we have Memorial Care, Spinal Hope, and Reformed Temple Church are going to be here. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. Remember, you can watch the program at 9 a.m., 12:30, and 5 p.m. right here on Village Television. And for all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
So one of the important things to note, the main difference between male and female breast cancer, is the time of presentation for men. Stage for stage, the diseases are the same. However, if you present later, there's a greater risk that the disease will spread. So one of the most important things I tell all my patients, but especially my male patients, is that as soon as you notice the lump, you need to present to your physician for further evaluation.